Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise. Welcome back, everyone. It's a gorgeous Sunday evening, a full moon, sun setting right now. I can hear the ocean, waves crashing outside my window, super peaceful, and I feel very inspired right now. So I wanted to create an Instasode that I will be posting tomorrow, so Monday, which is when you're listening to this. And, the post is all about discipline. So my intention with this Instasode is to, have it activate your most disciplined self, keep you steady with the goals that you have, especially this week, to fire you up and keep you consistent with them. And so that means all areas that you want to stay consistent with, whatever it is that you're working towards. So if it's, your diet, if it's your training, if it's your self-love rituals, if it's work projects, whatever it may be, I feel, it's important that, when we're generating habits, when they're not crystallized yet, meaning we don't have to think about them because they just are a part of how we function and operate in our lives. Discipline is truly, it's important. It's what helps to get us into that phase of, crystallized habits. So we don't have to think anymore. I know that it's not always easy, at all, but I really, really feel, and I'll get into this in my post that I'm going to read back, but I really believe that discipline is a form of freedom. And I guess I'll just let the post explain, and then I'll kind of dig deeper into it, but I'll go ahead and read it. Discipline. Motivation is something that gratefully does come natural to me, but the truth is, I never rely on my motivation to keep me consistent with my diet, training, or really anything that is important for me to be consistent with. There are way too many days when energy and circumstances will infect the productive power of motivation, making it less effective and unreliable as a tool for consistency and ultimately success. It definitely helps to feel motivated, but what I rely on is straight up discipline. Motivation helps to turn the engine on. Discipline sits in the driver's seat to get you from where you are to where you want to be. It helps to formulate habits. Habits shape our lives. Discipline feels like freedom to me. It's a sense of healthy control that stems from within the strongest parts of our being. It's empowering. It's encouraging. It's not easy to utilize or implement in the early stages of formulating new habits, but once those habits, oh my gosh, you guys, excuse me. Once those habits are securely developed, kombucha, they become a part of who you are, so no circumstance or fluctuation in energy can steer you from being consistent. That is freedom to me. And of course, the powerhouse energy that supports discipline 24/7 is real love for whatever it is you're attempting to create and achieve. So if that's a heightened state of you on any level in your life, then remember these potent and true words when applying discipline feels challenging. You are worth it. Yeah, it's like a little cough, but I'm going to keep rolling with this. Like I said, I am a naturally motivated person, and I feel very appreciative of that, especially at this stage in my life, because I know that it doesn't come natural to everyone, and as far back as I can remember myself as a little girl, I've always, I've been a self-starter, and I've been very motivated, and obviously, especially with things that I love and I'm passionate about. So that goes without saying almost, but I do feel like in the example of diet, when I started making significant changes to my diet over, the course of so many years ago, it was discipline that had to be applied in the beginning until I generated the habit, and I feel like there's this period where even when it becomes a habit, like you're doing it and it's, it's kind of coming easy and natural and you're staying consistent. I feel like there's a sweet spot in there that you really have to keep applying that discipline to, because, I don't feel that all habits when they're initially made are crystallized, So in the example of my diet, there's no discipline applied at all, ever. It's just the way I eat, right? It's like, I don't look at the French fry and think like, damn, wish I could have it, but I can't, it's not a part of me anymore. Now with training is definitely a habit too. I mean, I don't feel, how do I say this best? It doesn't feel good when I don't get movement in. Like it's just standard. Like even if it's walking, for 30 minutes in the day, which almost feels like nothing, but sometimes that's actually just perfect considering the other training that I'd had going on in the rest of the week. But, movement is like, man, it's a habit. But there are times when the tired thing starts to happen. And look, I'm not I know how to recover and allow my body rest. And I'm not one of these, just beasted or, whatever, like no pain, no gain. No, but, there are times where I know that if I actually just get out and move, that tired is a result of me not moving in the day. Maybe I was working all day and then I was sitting in traffic on the way home. And so I didn't actually get to stimulate my body in the way that, my body loves being stimulated from and is used to. And then, those are times where I take a deep breath and I might take some adaptogen herbs or whatever I need to do, and I'll get out the door and I'll go train. And that is when discipline is being applied to, just get me out the door. Even though that is, training is obviously it's a lifestyle. I'm an athlete. It's a habit, but I'm just pointing that out, the difference where, sometimes even if it's a habit, you'll need the discipline to just keep it going. Otherwise, very quickly, it becomes not a habit anymore, And I think that that's something that I encounter a lot with people when I get into conversations, especially around the areas of diet, nutrition, but even like mindset stuff, meditation, journaling, things that, are very nourishing to our minds. People get on kicks and they'll do it for a while, but then it, kind of phases out. And so, and even though it was really doing something wonderful for them, so I really, to me, it's the idea that discipline is really freedom. And there's a really cool guy, actually, ex-Navy SEAL. I'm pretty sure his name is Jocko. And he actually wrote a book. I feel that I can't recall exactly, but I think that's actually the name of the book. And man, when I heard that, I was like, that's exactly right. It's discipline is freedom, because it releases you from this kind of push-pull thing that happens, right? When you're trying to be consistent with something. Or even in the event of like, I don't know, diet's a very kind of easy way to even though this applies to everything, really, diet's an easy focus point. But, there are times like during the holidays, I don't feel an allure to, step off of the diet that feels best for me because it's the holidays and there's all this and that around. It doesn't matter to me because it's so crystallized. And that was essentially, again, starting back from discipline that, now I'm free. I'm free of the push pull, the tugging and, all that stuff that can happen. If you don't, know how to really apply the discipline switch. So it's really a powerful tool if we utilize it. And so I, like I said in the Insta post, motivation helps to turn the engine on. Discipline sits in the driver's seat to get us from where we are to where we want to be. It's truly what helps to formulate the habits. And that's the thing, I say that habits shape our lives because essentially that's really what does shape our lives. What we do day in, day out is creating the mass of our day, and it's I love thinking about, the domino effect of things and how this one, if we can just activate, and I know it's not easy, but if there's a focus to activate this discipline switch, until certain things that we desire are crystallized habits, man, it's like the money switch. It's the money tool. And I really do feel like it's a healthy kind of control. I love the idea of just surrendering and being in the flow of things, but I do feel that there's value in certain areas, again, when we're trying to be consistent with something so we can really, create these habits to be rock solid and a part of who we are and how we function. That healthy sense of control is essential to get us there. It's empowering. It's really empowering. I find it to be when you know that you have control, that you're, whether it's whatever it is, if you decide that, meditation is something you really want to focus on this month and you're getting up extra early, even if it's just 10 minutes a day and you're starting your meditation practice, every day that you stay on it, every day that you're consistent with this act, there's no way that you don't feel empowered by it. That is motivating to feel yourself succeeding these day-to-day, actions that you are attempting to create as a part of your normal functioning in life, to better yourself and to better your life. It's so empowering. It's so encouraging. It's so motivating, so how we go about applying that discipline when it feels hard. I think that one of the things that I did, again, going back to diet, because it's just so easy. I think that I like to attach it to a bigger vision of, like the why, why am I really doing this? And really hold that vision, not just like the words, but actually visualize what is the ultimate outcome of, here, well, we make the example of meditation. So, I meditate and that's a habit that's crystallized for sure. But if I was just getting started, and what would my goal be? Well, my goal would be this version of myself that I can see being much more at ease, much more in a flow state throughout the day, much more responsive and not reactive, much more focused, much more just kind of pleasant overall, because, I have this ability to kind of buffer myself from being, reactive to life around me and things that happen, and always kind of be connected to my behavior and to my thoughts ultimately. So, and your thoughts really affect your emotions. And so when we pay attention to, what we're thinking and how what we're thinking is making us feel, it's a big deal. And all of that links to this, meditation, right? So like going back to the point, if I was really trying to, if there were moments where it was like, let's just say I'm tired and I'm like, God, I don't want to get up and I really don't want to do the meditation. But, I would maybe close my eyes if I was laying in bed or whatever, and I would visualize that version of me that I just addressed right now, that calm, ease, in control, cut me off in traffic. I might glitch for a minute, but I don't live from it. It doesn't ruin my day. It doesn't affect my emotions. It's just, I'm focused. I have clarity that's affecting my overall, work outcome, my relationships, it's affecting everything. It's that domino effect that feels so good. And all I have to do is just get my ass out of bed. Just do it. So you know what I mean? When you have a strong why, and don't stop there, visualize the outcome of this, what stems from this why, like what is the ultimate outcome. If it's diet, if, you imagine yourself with, your toned abs and your vitality, your energy, you're stronger. You can go longer on your runs or your spin class or whatever it is that you do, the whys will always help when we need to apply discipline. But I think beyond just having a why, I think we really need to, if we can create a visual of the outcome when we have developed the habits, when they're crystallized, when we are that person as a result of these habits that we're now, functioning and living from, that's the shit. That's the shit right there that gets you out of the, damn, I'm so tired, I don't want to go to the gym. Okay, I'm just going to go for a little bit. And then you end up going longer. Or damn, I'm so tired, I don't want to get out of bed and meditate. But you know what? I'm just going to do it, even if it's for 5 minutes. That's it. Or that's anecdotal. That's how I've been able to, move past areas where I was generating habits and move past the areas that were challenging, for me. And, where I really had to, challenging when I had to apply the discipline, and it was that push pull of like, oh my gosh, I want to kind of resist the discipline. But then it's like, no, you're not. And let me say this too. The more that you get, the better that you get at activating your discipline in any area of your life, the stronger you get overall in just being able to apply discipline, period, when you need to. So even if it's not, in the example of my life, if there's something right now that, I generally like everything's in flow, my habits are set, I feel good, I don't necessarily have anything that is requiring discipline for me to be consistent with. The thing is that I have exercised that switch so many times, so deeply. And sometimes I'll even create fun challenges for me just so I can keep that switch active. It's like gene expression, you're switching it on to make it more optimized. Man, I'm telling you, it's a secret weapon. It's an MVP to getting you to all of the things that you want to create for yourself and for your life. So I value it immensely, so much that I had to, create this post about it and now this podcast episode. And so, I hope that it's a new week. And I think that most people start the week, with the intention of, okay, it's like a fresh start. I mean, that's what I'm hoping anyways, because it is, it is. And there's so many possibilities and wonderful things that can come your way. I mean, every single day. And it's refreshing. And I love the feeling of, I love Mondays, straight up. But I know that, it's also a time where it's like, okay, maybe you didn't eat the best over the weekend, or you were at some event and it threw you off, or you were on a trip and now you're like, I got to switch my gear back on. So my hope is that in listening to this, it supports you in your process. And even if it isn't a Monday when you're listening to this, if you're listening to this on, Thursday or next Sunday or whenever, I really, the intention is for this to fortify your discipline and really think about, why it's important in the first place. Think about that and then use it, because I'm more than certain it will be your best friend. It will definitely advance you where you want to advance in your life. So that's my wrap for you guys on this beautiful full moon Sunday. And aside from that, I'm going to sign out, sending you so much love, because I love to do that. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the rad, posts and reviews and things that I just keep getting. They really expand my heart, and beyond words. And I'm a wordy woman, beyond words, you guys. So thank you so much again. And I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for taking the time to check out this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please share it with your friends. Head over to iTunes, subscribe to this podcast, rate it, leave me an honest review. Let's connect. I am so excited to do that in this space and really create content that elevates your mind in support of your best performance in life. You can find me on Instagram at Black Belt Beauty. I'm active there every single day, and I look forward to connecting with you all. So thanks again, and I'll catch you on the next one.